What a good start. Happy birthday. I was going to say good morning, and then I realised I was stuck halfway between good morning and happy birthday. Happy birthday. Welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Happy Wednesday morning. How are you doing? It is 8:22 and it's a bit windy, as you can probably tell. I hope you can hear me all right. Sorry if you don't, because there's nobody live to talk to and chat with and discuss it with, so I will just have to see. If something comes on live, I'll ask them if they can hear me. But welcome to the first day of the rest of your life. Every day is your birthday if you choose to celebrate it, and today we are going to celebrate by blowing out the candles of our imaginary cake and celebrating the birth of the 5 people who I don't really know. By the way, viewer, can you hear me all right in this wind? Hello, viewer. I can hear thumbs up, so that's cool. So we're going to blow out the candles in our cake, which helps us to overcome anxiety and panic attacks, but also allows us to invest in a little bit of law of attraction, positive thinking, future planning, all that kind of stuff. So what we do, to happy birthday to Tim, Emma, Caroline, Lou and Hayley. We're going to clear our lungs out. Morning Lisa, how you doing? And then breathe in breathe in for 5 through our nose, hold it for 5 and then blow out the candles on our cake. So and then blow out the candles on the cake, make a wish. Think about all your best birthdays. Do that 5 times if you like. Do it throughout the day. Helps to get oxygen into your lungs and helps you to think more clearly, and helps you live life more birthday as well. Happy birthday, Misha Ella. Happy birthday to you too. Lovely day for an anniversary, absolutely. Hello, happy birthday to you, Misha. Cool. So today we're going to talk. Well, actually, I don't know the 5 people particularly well on here, by the way. So Tim, John, Cameron Kitchen, Emma Elizabeth, Caroline Whitaker, Lou Clark, who I think I know through 2020 Sales Academy. Is it 2020? No, 2012 Sales Academy. And Hayleys Haven. I don't know. Hayley, I think you're Cheltenham based. So tell us what you do. Tell us how I know you. And if we can buy stuff from you, tell us what we can buy from you and send us a link. That'd be cool. Happy birthday to all of you though. So that's cool. Every day is your birthday if you want it to be so. Right, cool. So today we're going to talk about how to love yourself a bit more. This comes from the, mostly from the Ent-spresso video from Evan Carmicheal. It's in the description below, but it's also based a little bit on the psychology book, the Blinkist book of the day, which is Psychology of Money. There's a bit in there as well, and also interestingly enough, the other video that's in there, which is When Is Now, and the Psychology of Time, which is kind of cool, and also a little bit from the Loveability book. So anyway, but basically how to love yourselves more. Basically it's the tiny little wins you do on a daily basis, and actually if you think about it, mostly we are aware of the opposite. So it's not the tiny little wins, it's when we let ourselves off the hook on a regular basis. Now I'm a big guilty of this, and I was going to add to the description confession time, because this is what I do a lot to myself. I beat myself up a lot. I let myself off the hook a lot. I say to myself, oh, it's all right, I'll do that tomorrow, or I'll do that in a minute, or I'm just going to do this other little thing that's more fun first. I'll let myself off the hook. It's I'm not feeling great today, I'm a bit tired today, I won't do that thing. All these little excuses that I use to avoid doing the things that I know I ought to be doing. Hence why I'm here at 8:22 in the morning. This is one of the things that I've been working towards for months, getting out of the house before 8 o'clock in the morning to do this recording, so I can be home, ideally home, and dressed and ready for the day by 9 o'clock. That's my plan. And I've been using all sorts of excuses to not do that for months and months. By the way, is the wind still okay? Whoever's viewing, it's very noisy for me, so it's kind of hard to tell if it's going to be okay for you guys to hear me. So yes, there's little tiny wins every single time throughout the day that we do, and the more times that we let ourselves off the hook, we start to love ourselves a little bit less. We start to beat ourselves up a little bit. We start to hate ourselves a little bit for letting ourselves off the hook, for not doing the things that we want to do, not doing the things that we feel like we should do. Now, we've talked about shoulds before. Is it really you that's saying you should be doing the thing, or is it somebody else that's been telling you to do should do the thing? Because it's up to you. It's your choice whether you do the thing or not. So when you say I should do this thing, do you really want to do that thing? And if you do, then choose to do it. Go on and do it. So replace that I should with I choose to, or I choose not to. So that's again that thing as well. So, but So yeah, the more you let yourself off the hook, the more you beat yourself up a little bit, and the less you start to love yourself, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because then you hate yourself a little bit more, you feel a little bit more down, then you let yourself up, you're feeling a bit low, so you don't want to do the next thing, then you say, oh, I'm feeling a little bit low, I'll do it when I'm feeling a little bit better, and you let yourself off the hook again, and it's a spiral, downward spiral. But there is a solution, because you can do the opposite, and you can spiral up. You can set yourself tiny little tasks, and this is what we do during our 7-day challenge that we're doing this week, for example. Setting yourself little tiny tasks, things that you know you could achieve the next day if you chose to do them, you see. And then you just do them. So it could be as simple as I'm going to drink a glass of water at exactly 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, for example. I'm going to get out of the house before 8 o'clock. That's a really tough one. But I could have set myself a slightly better and easier task, for example. I'm going to be dressed by 10 o'clock, for example, or dressed by 11. Or actually, I did this with a client of mine before Christmas, and she was saying she feels bad when she doesn't get things done by, I can't remember what the actual thing was, but by midday or something, I think it was. And I said, okay, so if you did something before midday, you'd feel good about the day ahead. And she basically said, yes, this is not the actual story, but it's along these lines anyway. And I said, so great, so you can choose to do something before 11 o'clock in the day, and then you'll feel good for having done the thing before 11 o'clock. And she was like, oh yeah, good point. Because she was beating herself up all day long, and then feeling like she hadn't done anything, because she spent all day worrying about the thing that she hadn't done before 12 o'clock. Whereas if she was up and dressed by 12 o'clock, then she still had good 8, maybe even 10 hours before the end of the day. So you've got plenty of time to do stuff if you wanted to, but it was choosing not to and beating yourself up for it was causing you problems. So don't let yourself off the hook so much. Set yourself tiny little goals, tiny achievable goals, and then prove to yourself that you can achieve them. So something that you really know you could achieve very easily, and then do it, and then congratulate yourself and go, good, I did that thing, I actually managed to achieve that little tiny goal. But make it easy, make it simple, but prove to yourself that you can do it, and prove yourself you can do it regularly, do it ongoing, do it all the time, and then eventually you start going, I do things that I promise I'm going to do, and then you can start building it up and making bigger and bigger things over time, and then you start to love yourself a little bit more. Sorry about the wind. So yeah, and then you can start to be proud of yourself, and you can start to create a growth version of you versus the comfort version of you, because the comfort version of you is the one that's keeping you comfortable, keeping you safe, is keeping you from doing the things that are slightly difficult, slightly outside of your comfort zone. I always say when I do this in a workshop, I'll grab an actual hula hoop and I'll put it on the floor and I say, this is your comfort zone, and then I get another hula hoop and I put it next to it, overlapping, so you can sort of step into the other one but still stay within your own comfort zone, and you can just step out a little bit into your other comfort zone. I'll try and do it a little bit further back here. Step out into your comfort zone. You can exist over here and you go, oh, it's a little bit scary over here, oh, I'm back in my comfort zone now. But by the time you've stepped out of it once, you're now a little bit more comfortable about it, a little bit easier. It becomes a little bit easier to step into it again in the future, and then you can just step into it and go, oh, this is all right over here, this is fine. I can step into a little comfort zone over here. Look, I'm a little bit okay in my little comfort zone over here. I'm a little bit comfort zone. Anyway, so there you go. It's all about pushing yourself outside of the little comfort zone a little bit, setting yourself tiny, manageable goals that you can achieve, and proving to yourself that you can do that. Good morning, Hayley. How are you doing? It's become a thing, hasn't it, every morning? It'd be lovely to see you again at some point. Coffee or something. So yeah, I think that was it really. Push yourself, love yourself a little bit more. The more you can love yourself, of course, we talked about this on my lives before, the more you can love yourself now, the more you can allow other people to love you, and the more you can love other people as well. It's a weird little thing. I'm going to talk about, the other thing that was mentioned is at the end of that video from Marisa Pierce, it was somebody else talking, and she was talking about confirmation bias, and we talked about this the other day, and I thought it's kind of a cool concept of this as well, so I'm going to take this forward as well, which is, you have an idea. So she was being interviewed and she said, I could take this idea that all interviewers are going to be attacking me and finding things wrong with me, or I could take the opinion that this interview is going to be happy and fun, and then when you ask me a question, I'm going to be looking for whether or not that's an attacking question or whether it's a fun question. So are you trying to get some useful information, or are you attacking me? And I've noticed this with politicians a lot of the time. So politicians will go into an interview and expect to be attacked. And then when the questions are quite sort of nice and kind and comfortable, they kind of attack back. It's like they've already pre-planned their defence, and then they'll go into defense mode, and you go, whoa, hang on a minute, that wasn't what I was asking at all. You've tried to defend something that I wasn't even asking you about. And they go, oh yeah, but that's because you're going to trap me in the future. And yeah, so there's this confirmation bias that can actually affect us even in those daily bases. Sorry about the wind, by the way, if anybody's listening. I'm guessing that the wind's okay because nobody's complained about it so far. Oh, hello Yvette, sorry I didn't spot you coming on there. I hope you're still there. Got one viewer left, I don't know who that is. Anyway, so we're basically there. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about, just briefly, because it's not related to anything, is the power of, no, not power of now, I can't remember what it's called actually. Anyway, the video is in the thing there, and it's the psychology of time, basically. When is now? When is now? Is now, right now. And it's brilliant video, well worth watching. It's all about how we perceive time and how other people perceive time, and relativity, and it's got some great videos, some great cartoons in there to really visualize how these things work, and why there is no such thing as really as now, because it always keeps passing, and every single person's perception of the world around them is different as well, and it gives you a really good indication of how thanks for all the love, by the way, Manoj. I love it when you do all that stuff. It's kind of cool. I've missed you on my lives. About how every individual has got a different perception on the world. So it's talking about time specifically. So it's talking about how time passes differently from somebody off a train versus on a train, for example. And it's got some nice cartoons and stuff like that as well. It really explains it really well. But it's also very valid as to why we all perceive the world around us differently. Why one person standing next to us has got a very different perception about how the world is around them. They have different beliefs. That confirmation bias is a classic example of that. You go to an interview, and so two people go to an interview, and there's the same person interviewing them, and one person's expecting that, oh, this is a good example, see, I didn't think of this one. Two people go for an interview, and one person's expecting them to be a hostile interview, and the other one's expecting it to be a fun interview. And the interviewer asks the same question to both of them, and one of them is defensive, and the other one is fun and playful. It's the same question, same people, but one of them is looking for attacks, and so therefore it finds attacks, and the other person is looking for fun, so it finds fun. And this can happen in all our lives, throughout our lives. So go out there and find the fun in the world, and stop looking for the conflict in the world, because you'll find it if you want to look for it. It's the same with the news as well. If you want to look for bad news, go and look at the news, you'll find bad news. If you want to find good news, go out and find good news, and you'll find good news. You'll find a beautiful world. Look at this beautiful sky, this beautiful blue sky up here. Isn't it fantastic? I could be looking at the wind. I know I've apologised for wind a few times, but that's mostly a sound thing more than anything else. Yes, obviously it's quite windy here, but look at the beautiful sunshine. And actually, I'm just going to move the camera around slightly because this is a quite nice view from over here as well. You can see this. Yeah, you've got sunrise coming up over here. Isn't that cool? Right, that's all from me. I've picked up the camera now. I can't do my two-handed love thing, can I? Okay, here we go. Boom, in the sky. Love you all. Send love out into the world. Find somebody you love and tell them you love them. And look for the good stuff in the world. And I will see you tomorrow with another inspirational talk based on the stuff that I've learned during my personal development time in the morning, which is completely unstructured and kind of made up on the spot. Because that's the fun thing about this, isn't it? Right. I'm going to be really interested to find out whether this wind was too much or not. But it seems okay. Manoj seems to be loving it all right. So take care. I've got my alarm going off now saying I should be home already. Yikes. Take care, guys. Bye for now. Love you all.